Okay, team, it's a long time coming, but finally I shall make the assassination guide as well as I can. I haven't really thought about how I can do this, so I'll just... No, oh, okay, I got it. I'll go over every talent and honor and combination I do, and we'll figure it out, like, against what setup, what am I playing. Okay, so these talents, they're versus pretty much, let's say they're your base talents, okay? Let's go with that. And we'll change them later. Elaborate planning and death from above. Elaborate planning, death from above. And then system shock. That's against paladin teams that are in no combination with a rogue or a feral druid. Now, if they're like a holy paladin feral druid or a holy paladin rogue, you go the same thing, but you also pick cut to the chase so you can stick to the paladin. I guess that could work. Creeping Venom, you don't want it because they have that thingy that spawns the spells and it's like there's no point. So you don't want that either, so you get the more damage on your Mutilate and Rupture with Elaborate Planning, and you get DFA with System Shock for the burst with the pool. And it kind of works okay, let's be honest. At least that's what I think. It works fine for me. Now, the next thing you do is you play Hardiness against Death Knights, Unholy Death Knights, Affliction Warlocks, and Feral Druids. Because sparring doesn't really help you. You never really pick this because it's not... It doesn't matter if you have 10% more health, because unless you're getting healed to full every time, it really doesn't matter if you have 1.5 million or 1.7 million health or whatever. So this is when you pick hardiness against dot classes and ferals, because they don't really turn on you, they just dodge you and run away. I think it's only Affliction Warlocks, ferals, and Unholy Death Knights. Oh, mages too. That's specifically for 2v2, by the way. Cut to the chase, you play against ferals and rogues against certain setups. So sometimes, like, if you play this and if the other rogue plays this, it can backfire if the rogue is tunneling whatever you're playing with, because you just keep giving him sprint and you don't want that. So it's kind of iffy. I've been trying to play without it more and more and rely on, like, me using Shadow Step correctly. But yeah, you never pick Agonizing, you never play Exsanguinate, you never play Mark for Death, never Cheat Death, never Leeching Poison, never Anticipation, never Deeper Stratagem, never Night Stalker, never Shadow Focus, and never Hamo. You never go Flying Daggers, you never change those two. Even if, like, versus Paladins, I do go Wound Poison, because as you can see, it does actually more direct damage than Deadly. The Deadly instant is 21, and the Wound instant is 26, and if it's getting dispelled instantly, it doesn't really have time to tick. And even then, you don't go Shift, you keep Deadly Brew, because you don't really know if the Paladin is running the Spam Cleanse poison, and if he's not, you have time to change to Deadly. And if he is, well, you're losing Shift, which is pretty much nothing. You never play Mind Numbing either, never play Honor Among Thieves, never turn the tables, never intend to kill, never reinforced armor. Now, we've been arguing with Tezia and Hydra if Relentless as human is ever worth it. I say yes, they say no. And after the nerf from 25 to 20%, I would say no, it's not worth it. Adaptation and trinket always as human. As orc, I think you can still run relentless sometimes against stuns. And adaptation, you run against priest rogue or whatever requires you to tunnel a priest, and the other guy is going on your healer. So, you know, you can trinket the fear and you don't need the spell, so you can stick to the priest. You don't really run adaptation versus paladins. I don't really like it that much. That's pretty much it. Only against discipline priests, adaptation is what I do. And the general playstyle, I guess we can do that. Maybe, man, I should have thought about it. It's okay, we're improvising. The general playstyle of Assassination is, well, there are a few ways. You can do single target damage, which is pretty effective depending on what it is. Like if you don't, usually, almost always you want to be dotting your off target. That's why I have Focus Rupture, Focus Envenom, Focus Growth. So all my damaging abilities, I have them on my focus. And you want to keep them dotted all the time. I have Focus Throw too, Poison Knife. And you're tunneling almost never, I want to say. Sometimes against Feral Druids when the Feral is just having too much pressure because, you know, they're a Feral Druid. That's when you want to stick to the Feral Druid exclusively, at least until you get stabilized. So during or after Feral cooldowns, then you can go for the healer. The plus side is, if you're Assassination, usually you want to go healer, especially versus melees, because usually the healer will not be able to deal with you by himself, so they'll need the melee to run to you. And as soon as they run to you, you just double dot him, like Focus Rupture, Focus Growth, Focus Envenom, or whatever, and you keep doing damage to your primary target, which is the healer. And that makes them fall really far behind most of the time because they can't heal both. And you can, there's a few ways you can do it. You can do Kidney Shot, like Kidney is 20-second cooldown, the DR is 24, 25, depending on lag. Usually I do it on 25. So I'll do one kidney on the healer and one kidney on the DPS or something like that. Usually you wanna do damage on whatever the healer is not healing. So you get the healer low, you do like a kick or whatever, and you switch on the DPS, and you keep doing the damage. So by the time the healer heals himself, the DPS is already low health, and you're back on the healer, and you have your kidney shot back, and you kidney the healer, and he's still dying to your dots. It requires dot management, and that's basically what everyone that is high as Assassination is doing. It's not really much to the spec as long as you know your DPS rotation. The thing is, you have to know when to do damage on what. You can't just do damage, especially after the nerfs and people die. You have to know when to do damage to what. Yeah, you get the feel for it. What else are we doing? What's another part of the guide? Maybe survivability, but that's pretty obvious. You just press feint. You want to do it? It takes close to 20 seconds, I think, to get out of energy if you spam feint. So as long as you have the globals, there's really no reason for you to not have feint up. Oh, usually you're not spamming feint, like if you don't expect anything to happen to you, because it takes a global. It's not much the energy. It's been 20 seconds. I've been spamming feint every time. It takes like 25 to go out of energy, so it's not a big deal, but the globals are important. That's it. I can talk about threes and how to play assassination in threes, but it highly depends on what you're playing. I've been playing RMP semi-successfully, and it's not the same as twos. You don't out-dot, you do damage to only one target, and you definitely requires more coordination with kidney shot. You don't really kidney whenever you want to, unless it's versus mages. You want to kidney mage on cooldown because apparently Thesia says that it fucks them a lot because it feels like you never play your character, and it is true. So against mages, I guess you kidney as much as you can. Against other things like jungle, you do almost always kidney on cooldown, but it does require a little bit more synergy with the mage. But you still do want to do it on cooldown, and you don't split pressure ever. You do damage to only one target because they get sheeped and feared anyway, so it doesn't matter. What else? I'm trying to think of questions that I'm getting and to use them as, in my guide, but they're just so broad that I don't think I can just give it an answer. And also the meta changes all the time, so even by the time you watch this, like now or a week from now or a month from now, what I'm talking about might not even be relevant anymore. Like, I might not even be using these talents or anything. The last time I talked about it, System Shock was the best, for instance. Yeah. It wasn't very well put guide, but I think I covered the basics. Unless I missed something, then I'll probably answer it in the comments. This is my weapon traits, because I get this question a lot. Just screenshot or something. This is my weapon. This is how it looks. I'm getting all the damaged ones, and I'll get like this one, and I don't know. I guess Sprint is more important than Cloak of Shadows because it's lower cooldown and it's more effective. 6 seconds off of 90 seconds is not as important as 6 seconds off of 60 seconds. And I've been through talents. I don't really play Outlaw or Sub. And even after the nerfs, I'm pretty sure Assassination is still the best. Maybe Outlaw is good. All my attempts to play Outlaw have failed miserably. Like the people from stream can confirm. I probably have 0 wins and 20 losses as Outlaw. I haven't won a game as Outlaw, ever. Not one. So that spec is cursed, or I can't play it. And that's that. And how to get better? You keep practicing. Practice makes perfect. Everyone started with Step into Arena. All the good players started the same way. You just play, 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 play. So if you didn't get anything out of this guide, all you have to know is in 2v2 you split pressure most of the time, almost against everything, and you go for healer. And when the DPS comes to hit you to peel for the healer, you dot the DPS and you continue doing damage to the healer. And if you don't have a kick, you kick one cast, the healer starts healing himself, you're doing damage to the DPS almost before the kidney shot comes off cooldown. Then you switch back to the healer when he starts healing the DPS. So you want to be always one step ahead. And in threes, you don't split pressure as RMP. You just hit one target, and you can still do switches as a team, but you dotting a second target would be a waste of your time and energy and pressure on your primary target. RMP is all about the pressure. You want to have pressure on one target. And you know my talents, you know my artifacts, and if you have more questions or you don't really know how exactly it looks like to play this style, you can just watch my stream or the other videos, and it should be pretty obvious. But don't expect to be able to do it the same way I do it every time. It takes practice. But yeah, I hope this wasn't too bad and I wasn't too distracted. Yeah, see you guys later.